Let's do it. Thank you, sir. To life as it should be.
And tequila as it should be.
Welcome and thanks for joining us. My name's Phil Bermondo and I'm the mixologist at Villa One Tequila. And I'm so honored that our founders are here with me today. Hey guys, want to say hi?
Hello, hello. It's Nick Jonas.
Hey, John Varvatos here. Excited to be here with Total Wine.
Awesome. Well, so we have three variants in Villa One. We have a silver, a repo, and an añejo. What we're going to do is we're going to make a drink with each of them. And maybe, Nick, if you don't mind, while I've got prepped for the first drink, you want to maybe tell everybody about the three different marks?
Yes, I'd love to. Villa One is a very exciting project for us, a passion project. We're big tequila drinkers, so for John and I, we'll get into the story a bit later, but we've got our silver, our reposado, and our añejo. The silver is just fresh, delicious, a perfect summertime drink, especially in quarantine. And then the repo is actually my favorite. I took the initiative and actually made myself a little cocktail. Unfortunately, Phil, I can't have one of yours right now, but if I could, I'd be very happy. So I just did it myself, and later on in the evening, I'm sure I'll move towards the añejo.
Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make the first drink. It's called the Pepino. It's made with the silver. Put a little ice in my glass here. And this is probably a little more adventurous of a drink from the rest of them that we'll be making, but it is really fun. So think of a margarita kind of kicked up a notch. It's really simple. Just get a mixing glass. We're going to put in some cucumber. Secret to cucumber is you want to leave the skin on. That's where all the flavor is. We're going to put in about an ounce or so of that. And we're going to put in some jalapeno slices. Now, I cut them on a mandolin so they're nice and thin. But basically, you put in whatever you think the heat you can handle. I like mine a little spicy, so I'm going to throw an extra ring in. And then we need some cilantro. Cilantro is beautiful. And to that, we're going to put in some of the liquid. We're going to put in some fresh squeezed lime juice. There we go. And we're going to put in, I need a little bit more of that. We're going to put in some simple syrup. All right, so here we go. And a simple syrup. Now, you all know simple syrup is nothing more than sugar and water stirred together. I picked this up at Total Wine. I like buying it because it's already perfect. So we're going to put in, there we go.
And what's that called when you buy it at Total Wine?
Master of Mixes brand is the one I'm using.
I like
So we're going to muddle the drink. So you notice there's a muddler here that's got a smooth side and the one with the teeth on it, So for a drink like this, I'm going to use the one with the teeth. If you don't have one of these, it's no big deal. You can use the back of a wooden spoon. It'll work just fine. And all you want to do is just kind of get in there and press and muddle everything together. So this is basically our mix at this point. That's basically our cocktail mix. There you go. And now we're going to put in some triple sec. I just put in a little triple sec. And of course, the star of the show, the Villa One Silver.
Very nice.
Yeah, beautiful. So that all goes together. Now we have to make everybody happy together. And we do that by shaking it. So we're going to pour everything into some ice and lock this together. This might be a little loud, so check your volume. Secret to making a really good drink is you want to shake it really hard and make sure you shake it long enough. Now, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of cilantro and peppers. If you choose, you can put it through a fine mesh strainer, but I personally like it with all of the stuff in it.
Looks better too that way.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that stuff in your teeth. All right, now for the garnish, we want to use everything that actually came in the drink. So I just basically did a nice lime slice, cucumber, some jalapeno and the cilantro. Just lay that right up on top of your drink. And there you go. You got a beautiful pepino.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right, so cheers.
Cheers.
So John and Nick, tell me, so what's the story? How did this whole thing get started?
So Nick invited me to the Soho House with his brother Joe to a dinner that they were hosting with their partners from Rock Nation and a bunch of kind of people from interesting parts of different industries. And Nick and I ended up sitting next to each other at the dinner. And, we spoke for hours, really. I mean, we didn't really talk to anybody else that night much. It was really an enjoyable time getting to know each other. And the next day, Nick was at a recording studio in New York City, and he asked me if I'd like to come by and listen to some new music he was working on. And of course, I wanted to. And I went over there, and there was a bottle of tequila there sitting on the console. And we had just drank a lot of tequila and kind of professed our love for tequila the night before. And we continued that on the next day. And the next thing you know, we're at my design studio weeks later, and we're talking about potential collaboration on fashion. And we collaborated on a fashion collection, which was a big hit and a big success. And then we worked on fragrances. We've done 3 to date, and every one of them has been fantastic. The JVNJ fragrance. And along the way, we also talked about how could we do something with tequila that felt like it could be the best in class, had a unique flavor profile, and really stood out from a quality standpoint, because that was the key thing, was the quality.
So as John mentioned, our friendship began in a really organic way, just sitting down at dinner, talking about life and family and music and creativity. And one of the common threads early on in our relationship was that we both had this love for tequila and this desire to learn more about it.
We headed down to Mexico, to the Finos distillery that the Stoli Group owns. They had just bought it, and this a couple years back. And on our way down, we made a pit stop, and we ended up staying at a beautiful resort. And we had a wonderful evening together with family and friends and new friends. And we talked about what this project could be, what the level of product we wanted to do. We threw around a bunch of names. And one of the names that was thrown out that evening was Villa One. And another interesting name that came about was our mantra. Nick, at the end of the evening, he toasted everybody around 2:30 in the morning and said, "To life as it should be." And it's something that means a lot to us, but I think it probably means a lot to everybody, especially even in the world we live in today, about spending and celebrating life together with your family and friends. And the next morning, I got up and I walked out the gate around 6 a.m. and was looking at the beautiful sun coming up. And I turned around, there was a little wood plaque on the door of the gate that said Villa One. And for me, that was, like a sign, like this should be it. So we started talking about it on the plane. We were already talking about the direction for the look of the logo and that type of thing. We got down to Jalisco, and we met a magical man by the name of Arturo Fuentes. And Arturo's the master distiller, and Arturo's history is creating some of the most special tequilas on the planet. And he also has spent time doing champagnes and wine, but his real forte is tequila. And in that region, they call him the Godfather of tequila.
The beautiful thing about that trip that we took is that we had this incredible time as just friends first, just exploring this new venture and this new exciting world we were diving into. And just like our relationship starting with really organic conversations about life and the world and creativity, that's what we did that night at Villa One, while sharing some tequila and talking. And so the essence, the spirit of what we built with Villa One, that idea of life as it should be, became kind of the mantra for the whole thing, and for the whole creative process, so that we could bring that same energy that we felt, that joy of being with people we loved. And we've often compared when we're drinking tequila to something like champagne. You do it when you celebrate. It's a great moment shared amongst friends, family, and loved ones. And the culture that's been created around this, by way of it just starting with a really true and honest friendship and incredible journey that we were able to go on together, was really special. And then getting to sit with Arturo and actually get as detailed as we wanted to get, to also be upfront and say, we know what we like, we know the kind of things that we want to accomplish with this, but we also want to truly collaborate with, like John said, the Godfather, to build something that people will love and that we will love. And as a creative person, I was so thrilled to get to branch out in this way and to work with a dear friend, and now to see that people are loving the thing that we made that truly just came out of friendship and great experiences is so unique, and I feel really fortunate.
That's the best, right?
That's awesome. And it's so appropriate too that I hear the little puppy in the background, because the next cocktail is actually called the El Perro. And this drink is actually inspired by the salty dog, if you will. Think salty dog meets the Paloma. That's kind of what we're going for here. So
Nice.
We're going to do this on a tall drink. If you like to have the salt, you can actually do a salt rim on it if you like. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put in some ruby red grapefruit juice. I just fresh squeezed it from an actual ruby red grapefruit. And I also always use fresh limes. You may not recognize it because it doesn't have that little yellow cap on the other side over there, but we like to use fresh limes. So we're going to put in some fresh lime juice. Okay. I actually picked this juice. This is my favorite juicer. I like it because it has the lime and the lemons in it, so you can do different sized fruit. I actually picked this up at Total Wine, believe it or not, yesterday.
It's definitely working strong, I can tell
Oh,
you.
it's great. It's great. So we have the lime juice. We have the ruby red grapefruit. Now we have to balance it out. So think like a salad dressing, right? You have to shake that vinaigrette to get the olive oil and vinegar to be the perfect match. Same applies in a cocktail. We have a lot of citrus and we have a lot of tart from the lime, and we need to balance that out with our simple syrup. So we're going to put in the same amount of simple syrup as we had of the lime juice, which is about 1 ounce. There we go. So there we go. There's your ingredients. Now, the star of the show, the reposado. And we're going to pour in, it gets supposed to be 1.5 ounces, but this one I'm actually going to, just don't tell anybody I did that.
The copper.
Yeah, nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. All right, so we've got all the ingredients in. There's one more ingredient that we have to put in at the very end. I put a little ice, shake it. You want to make sure you shake your drink long enough. Don't cheat on the shaking. You get the tin and you write your initial on the side of the tin, then you know you've probably shaken it long enough. All right, and this just comes apart. Pour this into our glass, just like that. There we go. And then we're going to need just another little ingredient here. We're going to put in some grapefruit soda. I actually just went to Total Wine to pick it up, as well as the bitters that we're going to need. So let's go ahead and put a little float on top, ruby red. And we're going to put just a dash of bitters on top. Now, everybody says, why would you put bitters on there? Bitters is like salt and pepper to a cocktail. It brings out some other flavors. It's got a little baking spice flavor, but it just adds a lot to the drink. We're going to put on the ingredients that are in the drink. That's the grapefruit and, of course, nice fresh lime. There you have the petal, el petal.
Very
Cheers.
nice.
Nice.
Cheers. Looks delicious.
Yeah.
I'll send you you have the recipes. You can make these.
Phil, I mostly our reposado and the silver, the añejo, of course. But you mentioned the bitters. One of my favorite things to do as like kind of an after dinner special is a little bit of chocolate bitters with the repo.
Oh,
Neat.
yeah.
The orange rind. It's so nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
That sounds amazing with that, the nose of that risotto. That
I don't know if you can see on the back right over here, there's a bunch of little black caps. That's my bitters collection. I think I probably have about 30 different bottles of bitters on my back bar. So I'm a big bitters fan.
Nice.
But anyway, so with so many tequilas out on the market, so many excellent, great products out there, what's the secret behind Villa One? What's making Villa One so special?
our agaves come from both the highland and lowland. And as a tequila drinker, you'll know that that's totally uncommon to be able to blend both of those. And our churro's a master distiller and blending. He blends every barrel himself, and tastes every barrel himself as well. So I think starting with him, the agaves, we also have an artesian well that flows beneath the distillery. It's a an artisan distillery with an artesian well. That water is distilled another 10 times as well. Um, so we're starting, the basis of tequila is water. When you're starting with the finest water, agave, and then the best in terms of distilling, blending, that's really what we have. And our flavor profile, as Nick indicated earlier, is unique in terms of each one. We looked at silvers, saying that most silvers in the market, unless they're super expensive, you really couldn't sip them. You really don't really want to. They're great for mixing, but we like to even drink the silver just on the rocks on its own with a slice of orange. And we kind of took that philosophy all the way through.
I think the thing that was so unique about the process of figuring out what we wanted the liquids, the juice to be, is that Arturo was willing to hear any feedback and actually encouraged, even if it felt odd to say, "Oh, I'm smelling this," or "This is on the nose," or "It's warm," or even things like saying, "Oh, it's really smooth." A lot of people think that that's just the programmed response for anything, but there's a truth to that. When you can make something as delicate as tequila and have it feel smooth, warm, um, an easy ride. That was kind of our pillars for the silver. And then the color, you actually look at it. If you drink it just straight, which we've done on many occasions, you know, it is such a beautiful color, and that silver really comes out, which just speaks to the excellence of the way it's made. Then also when you taste it, it is smooth and it blends well. We weren't afraid to say we want this to mix well with a club soda, little lime, any one of these cocktails that you're making. It just blends so well. And then when you get to the reposado, some of those vanilla notes come out. You really start to get the oak without being overpowered by it. And again, there's this warmth that I think was so important to both John and I as lovers of reposado. We wanted that to be in there, to not be overwhelmed by the vanilla, but have a taste of it, and have it feel really subtle and clean. And the agave, we can't talk enough about the agave. It's just it's so beautifully blended into this, and the process, as John mentioned, of distilling it, the water that we were using, just add to this profile overall. And then when you get to the añejo, it's a bolder drink, and for us that's probably for me at least kind of my after dinner, either on the rocks or neat. It's really a great sipping tequila, and I think very competitive. I don't want to mention other names, but I've done the taste tests across the board. Whether it's the silver, the repo, or the añejo, and on a blind taste test, I always pick ours.
We tell everybody, take the taste test, take the Villa One taste test, get your favorite tequilas. I think you'll be surprised when you see how special this product is. But the control of the product is also very, very special. When you have your own distillery, and you have somebody like Arturo, it really makes a difference.
So building on that, having the distillery at your fingertips and making sure that there's a lot of control there. I look at you, John, and I see, that being a clothing designer gives you such a great outlet for creativity. I'm sure. I mean, did that play a role or have anything to do with how Villa One was developed?
Yeah, for sure. Nick and I spent time, looking. We went to a glass factory where we make the glass, and we looked at a lot of different bottles there for how things were executed, things that felt well, good to us. But the one thing, and we use this word properly, really, is the authenticity of what we have in this product. We wanted the bottle to have an authentic look and feel to it. And so, from a shape standpoint, as we talked about shapes, we felt unique in its shape, but also felt authentic. We also wanted little touches that elevated the packaging, and we're doing our what we call our hallmark, which is an agave and fleur de lis mix, and it's the Villa One hallmark, and that's sandblasted into the glass. So when you touch the glass, you feel this engraving couple unique features on it are the cap that we do is super heavy. It's a very heavy metal cap with the signature on top of it. But also, probably one of the most unique features is around what we call the neck ring. You just don't see that anywhere, and that came from when I was working on the bottle with Nick and going back and forth. I was wearing this bracelet that I had done for my collection that has the same details that we have on the bottle. And as a designer, you're always trying to figure out how to do something. So you're saying, okay, great as a bracelet, but how do I make that work on a bottle? Or, well, as a team, we were able to figure it out. And the other great thing about the bottle is I also sat at a lot of bars enjoying tequila and talking to bartenders about what do they like to pour with? And they always talk about certain bottle shapes that maybe are unique, they're really difficult to pour. Bottle is very easy to pour with pour spout, and they love the way this feels in the hand. So not only at home, but in the bar as well.
It's nice that the pour spout for bars actually fit in the bottle the right way. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten home and put a pour spout in and it just doesn't fit properly and it leaks and stuff like that. It actually fits great for bartenders, which is good. So you guys want to make another drink? I'm going to make my favorite drink.
Okay.
This is probably my favorite drink right now. Not my favorite drink ever. One of my favorite drinks. I'm going to make it with the añejo. And in this drink, we're going to put in some sweet vermouth. All right, so let me give you a quick tip on sweet vermouth. Store it in the fridge, it'll last a lot longer. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add the Amaro. And you'll notice that kind of tells you we're kind of going kind of to a Negroni, if you will, but there's going to be a little twist to it. We're using tequila, number one, and number two, we're going to double the portion of tequila as to the other two liquids in the drink. And again, this one is for me. It's Friday. And now you notice we put all the liquid into the mixing glass here. Now we're going to put in the ice. And I'll give you a little tip on stirring a cocktail. Don't be shy with the ice. You see how the ice is a lot taller than the liquid? The idea here is I want to stir until the liquid and the ice meet up in the middle. That's all we're going to do. A little bit longer. You want to make sure you stir it long enough to get a nice chill. The reason we don't want to shake this is we don't want to incorporate any air. We don't want it to incorporate air. We just want the meltdown and the cold and chill from the ice, and that's all we're looking for. So that's basically the drink. I am going to put in a dash of bitters, actually a couple dashes. Don't be shy with your bitters. And there we go. Now this can be served up in a beautiful little coupe glass if that's the kind of drink you like. I actually like it on the rocks, so I'm actually going to pour mine right into the ice. And perfect. And then, of course, the garnish is going to be an orange peel. Now, I peeled that one a little while ago. I do a fresh one. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but I'm using a potato peeler, and I'm just going straight down the side of that orange, and I'm getting just the peel off. That's all we want to get off of there. We don't need the orange peel. And watch me squeeze this. You'll see, hopefully, did you guys see the little mist of oil come off of that? That oil is actually part of the drink. You can twist it up really nice over your drink, and you'll see all that little mist. Maybe on the close-up you'll see that. But anyway, let's garnish it, and then another cheers. What are you guys drinking? What are you drinking, Nick?
This is the Reposado on the rocks, dash of club soda, and an orange wedge. Call it the Especial, drink of choice.
What are you drinking, John?
Well, yeah, I love Nick's drink. That's one we both love. Repo, very simple on the rocks with a slice of orange and that type of thing. I'm drinking silver, Villa One, of course, with a splash of orange juice, muddled with some cilantro and fresh squeezed orange. And the cilantro we grow right outside my door here. As you mentioned it earlier, it's a very refreshing drink. It's probably my favorite kind of summer drink. And and I'm up at my lake house right now, and it's kind of become the drink of the lake. So
Wow. So as I'm sipping on my drink and enjoying this, and you guys are having your cocktails there, um, are there any other tidbits that we might want to know about? Is there maybe some food pairing, or perhaps something else you might want to share with our audience?
Well, in our house, we eat a lot of Indian food. My wife is Indian, and I got to say that the spice of Indian food paired with Villa One is just incredible. So if you're into spicier foods, make sure to make yourself a little cocktail with Villa One and try that out. And then also just fish. I eat a lot of fish. I try to eat clean and healthy, and so a lot of grilled fish, lemon, oil, a little bit of rice. And I just find that the Repo, the way I'm drinking it now with the club soda and orange wedge, is such a nice pairing. And then if you're getting really adventurous, this is an incredible the silver tequila to make margaritas with.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of tacos and things like that out here in California. We get some good tacos, so you can combine those flavors, and it's really quite special.
Yeah, when I was working on the pepino recipe, my wife made some mahi mahi, and I loved it. Was really great with the seafood. I enjoyed the spice and the fresh herbs, and the cucumber went really, really well with the fish. So yeah, that's a great pairing there. So anyway, well, I just want to say thanks to Total Wine and More for hosting us. I had a blast, and I'm going to definitely enjoy the rest of this. I want to thank our founders, Nick and John, for joining us today. And, Nick, you want to take us out?
I'd love to. This is a tradition in our Villa One family. We're going to open that up to you now, Phil. But cheers to life as it should be.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody.
thank you.
That's good.